What's up, game players? How are you guys doing? I'd like to welcome you guys to the Analog Circle Podcast, episode number 41. I'm your host, Keon Mitchell, and I truly thank you listeners out there for tuning in to another episode of the Analog Circle Podcast. Now, if you want to get in contact with the show to voice your opinion, there's been a lot of news that's come down the pipe earlier this week, a lot of good stuff. So if you want to voice that on the show, feel free to call 443-261-4607 and let me know how you feel about the different things that went down during the course of the week. Or if you don't want to call and you want to email the show, feel free to email the show at the Analog Circle Podcast at gmail.com. If you want to listen to some other episodes, you can feel free to go over to SoundCloud, Audio Mac, Stitcher Radio, as well as somewhere else that I just don't know where it is. But you can feel free to go over to those places. And if you want to join the Facebook group, feel free to join. It is called the Analog Circle. And I also forgot, guys, it slipped my mind that the podcast is actually on YouTube as well. So if you type in the Analog Circle Podcast, or if you want to make it short, just type in Keon Mitchell, Kiaun, Mitchell with 2 L's. You can actually find the podcast over there as well. So it's not video, it's just audio. I figured don't nobody want to see me, so I just went on and left it audio. That's about it though, the audio version. But outside of that, man, good grief. What have I been into? Brother, I got to tell you, the game that has stood out to me this week, of course, I had it last week, didn't get a chance to get into it, but I got into it this week, which is no other than, of course, man, Gears of War 4. Whew. Wow, very shocking, this game. I figured it was going to be a good game. I figured it was going to be solid. But I actually was not expecting for it to be as good as it actually is right now. How can I say this? The story arc is actually pretty solid so far. I know Gears isn't known for the story arc. It's usually just about the action. That's usually what you concentrate on. The story is always just background noise, pretty much. You don't really care. Even though I thought 3 had a pretty good story. But man, shockingly, it really blew me away at how well 4's story is going so far. Now, of course, like anything, it can fall, a little flat as the levels go on. But for right now, it has been one heck of a ride, man. The voice acting is great. It was great seeing, I'm not gonna spoil it at all for you guys out there that haven't played it yet. But a great opening. It didn't linger too long, in my opinion. I heard other people saying that they thought it lingered a little too long. But I have to tell you, the voice acting is really good. It's great. It's solid. I like the banter between the different characters. They have chemistry. It's actual chemistry going on with the characters. It's great. Gameplay is solid. The same gameplay of classic Gears. They did not switch the formula up too much, and I respect it because it is a new team, the Coalition. I think they needed to get in everybody's good graces first before they could actually start taking liberties. So I think that they wanted to make sure that they stayed true to what the franchise is, and I think that the next Gears, they'll go ahead and step out a little bit. And just to point out really, really quickly, as far as graphics go, wow, just an amazing looking game. Truly a gorgeous graphical showpiece. I have enjoyed it. But just to let you guys know, the Coalition did put there, and I'm not talking about Coalition with Gary Swavey and all of them. Shout out to those brothers. Definitely check out their podcast, by the way. The Co-op podcast. But, I'm talking about the thing that they did, the coalition, was they did put their staple on the game, in my opinion, with the environments, with the storms. Now, that's not a spoiler at all. If you've looked at any video or even seen it at E3 or even heard talks about it, it's the storms. It's one thing to talk about it, and it's a whole nother thing to see it actually happening. And I have thoroughly enjoyed that about the game. It's just been a really, really great ride so far. I'm not going to give it a grade because I messed up on Mafia 3, giving it a grade, within my first couple of hours of playing it, and I had to drop a point off of Mafia 3. So right now, as far as the first impressions in the first couple of hours that I've played, I would say, man, it's very solid. And I think that if you're a Gears fan, you should definitely pick this up. It's been a heck of a good time. But outside of Gears 4, I've actually still been trying to beat God of War 3. I know y'all are saying, God, Doug, you are still on that? Yes, I am. I don't play the PlayStation 4 as much as I do the Xbox One. Unfortunately, I basically play the PlayStation 4 for the exclusives. So when Mafia 3 came out and then Gears came out, and then being able to have all of the other games that I've had actually fit on a hard drive, because the 4-terabyte hard drive for the Xbox One, I highly recommend any of you guys that have a big catalog of games, whether it's digital or physical, I would highly recommend getting this. I have like 15 games on there now, and I'm not even using 0.7 terabytes yet. I'm not even up to a terabyte, and it's like 15 games on there. So I was able to actually go back and boot up some other games as well. I was playing GTA 5, and that game has amazing sound. If you have some Turtle Beaches or any kind of headset, it's amazing. You can hear the wind whistling and, all the different characters talking around you. Of course, you can hear it through the TV, but it's one thing to actually have it so you can totally hear it and be immersed in the environment. So I went back, played that. GTA 5 is still a lot of fun. And I went back and played Quantum Break again. Man, that game was still a lot of fun. And when I went back, I don't know if it's true. It could be my mind playing tricks on me. But I actually thought that some things got fixed. It seemed like the gameplay was a little sharper, a little more, less buggy. I don't know what it is. But I went back and, man, what a fun game. If you have not picked up Quantum Break, I highly recommend it. You can get it much cheaper now. And, outside of that, that's what I basically have been into this week. It was a good week, but it got even better in the section that we all come here for, folks. And you know what that is. That's for the gaming news that went down. We're gonna start this off. Let me clear my throat really quickly. Let's see. Now, in some interesting news, it looks like Take-Two, that's right, Take-Two, yeah, they were big this week in the news. They have filed for a trademark for something entitled Ghost Story. Now, if you're not familiar, of course, Take-Two Interactive owns Rockstar and 2K, NBA 2K. Now, this discovery comes from Game Rant, and the trademark was filed October 6th. Now, this trademark also covers movies and clothing as well as video games. Now, Take-Two also set up a division called Double Take that's dedicated to making graphic novels and comics. So it's possible that this could be, this patent, this trademark could actually be for a comic book. It could be for a graphic novel. It could be for some clothing, or it could be for some video game type of project that they're working on, or even a movie. So we'll have to see what happens with this, but either way, they have filed this trademark. 2K, they've been on a roll. They've been doing a great job. And I mean, they are making buku money right now. So we'll have to stay tuned to see what Ghost Story actually turns out to be. Moving on, and here we go. We're gonna get into some big stuff a little bit here, folks. Now, after that tweet went out about a possible Red Dead Redemption sequel, the internet went bat crazy. Well, to up the excitement even more, though, Rockstar wasted no time. Just a mere 2 days later, of course, it had been confirmed after months of speculation that Red Dead Redemption has been confirmed by Rockstar to be real. So real that the game has a release window which will be the fall of 2017. Now, Rockstar didn't go into much detail about the game, just saying that the story will tie back to John Marston as a prequel, detailing the rise and fall of the disbanded gang that Marston used to run with. Now, they also said that they were going to be showing off. No, whoa. Before I get into that, they also said that this will be an epic tale of life in America's unforgiving heartland and will include a vast and atmospheric world. And because of this, it will provide the foundation for brand new online multiplayer experiences. Now, brother, what? Let me just put the book down for a second. Listen, man, did you guys see the trailer? The trailer, look, okay, the trailer was probably about 2 seconds long, but let me tell you, it got me excited. It got me so excited. When the dude was in the canoe, rowing in the canoe, they were showing the buffalo, how they were roaming around. It showed the train. It showed the person up in a car or a coach or something like that. I said, oh man, and it just looked so good. Just the environment looked so nice. No real gameplay per se, but I'm willing to bet that was in-game assets running in real time. But the thing that stood out to me was, I don't know if y'all remember this, but near the end of the trailer, it was showing the gang, you know, the guys on the horses, and one of the things that stuck out to me was whoever was talking, I don't know, in the trailer, they said, when the time comes, you gotta run and not look back. Man, my whole world went wild. My gaming world inside of my mind went insane because I started thinking, okay, already we know, for you guys that have played Red Dead Redemption, you know how the story goes. Let's not spoil it for everybody else that's listening. But I said, man, we understand John Marston. He picks up after his days with the gang have ended. And just the way that it went in such an amazing way that really got you, man, it just got you there. God, dog. Just to backtrack real quick. Red Dead Redemption, if you haven't played it, you have an Xbox One, you know, or if you have an older console, you owe it to yourself, brother, to go ahead and just see what this game is all about. Just an amazing game, the way it started, the way it ended, and the way that this one right here could actually tell the back story of what happened with John Marston and his gang. Oh man, it just had me so excited. So I cannot wait to get more information about this game because, man, I'm excited. So we'll have to see what happens with this. The multiplayer online, we know that GTA 5 has really stepped up the ante for Rockstar. They've done an amazing job with this game, and I know they want it to continue because it has been a cash cow moo for them over there at Rockstar. So I know they want to keep that trend going, and I'm sure that this game actually being built for This current generation of consoles, oh me, oh my. I am sure Rockstar is going to knock it out the park. Some people weren't happy about the trailer being so short. Me, it's always a build-up with Rockstar. Always. Once they have an established IP, you can guarantee that they're going to go ahead and baby spoon feed the heck out of you until they're ready to show something off. And this game right here has been highly anticipated. I'm just so excited about this. Just to think about what could happen. Just setting up, because we know how it ends, but just talking about how they can set this game up. They could actually be walking around, two characters, talking about, hey, you guys remember John Marston and, what kind of guy he was, and somebody else comes into the bar and says, oh yeah, I remember John Marston, that crazy son of a gun. Man, let me tell you about this guy. They could just simply set it up like that to talk about John Marston back in his younger days being a bandit doing what he did. So, man, I'm so amped, so pumped up about this. Leave me a comment, man. Let me know what you are expecting for Red Dead Redemption 2 to bring to the table this time. I want to know what you want to see. I want to know what you want to do in this game, but I don't want to harp on Red Dead too much. It's coming out fall 2017. It's not that far off. Yeah, it's a nice ways, about a year roughly, but that year is going to fly by so quick and we're going to have it. But moving on, I'm excited about that. Moving on, now, wait a minute, hold on. Now, Rockstar, of course, they were supposed to be the only big news that went down that day, but oh no, Nintendo couldn't be outdone. Now, it has been confirmed officially. It's been confirmed on October 20th. That's right. That the rumored Nintendo NX name has been officially switched to the no pun intended, god dog. It's been officially switched to the Nintendo Switch and still has, now this is interesting, it still has a release date of March 2017. Now, the footage that Nintendo showed off shows just how seamless you can play the console at home by using a docking station or simply picking the portable controller up and leaving out with it to continue gaming. Now, when you're home playing, you will have a separate controller to choose from. That's what it looked like. It even has a kickstand to sit it up and play games. Now, wait a minute. Now, you guys saw the trailer just like I saw it. Was that surprising to you? Because I had no idea. I thought the 21st, they were going to come out there and they were going to say a couple of things and, make some kind of announcement, but oh no. They just came out of the woodwork. Next thing I know, hey, Nintendo has something more. Oh, shucks. So I saw this. I got excited. I said, man, this looks like a really, really good idea. It looks great. I don't know if it's going to be as seamless as it seems. I would hope so. I want it to be. I want it to be that way, but I don't know. Zelda looked great. I mean, just the concept of being able to pick up where you literally left off while you're on the go. What an amazing idea. My question, of course, is a lot of questions that come up in people's minds. How long is the battery life? Will you be able to actually hook it up with an adapter and play it longer when you're on the go? Will the fidelity of the graphics remain the same, or will it be a drop off in quality? Will these breakaway controllers, will they be comfortable enough to play on the go if you have somebody else that wants to join into the fun as well? It's so many questions that we can ask and we don't have any answers, but we will see, man. But either way, Nintendo, the interesting thing though about this, now, Nintendo has always done things their way. They want to be Frank Sinatra. That's what they want to be. They want to be Frank. They want to do it their way. But this time, I think that they may be onto something, because the stronghold that Nintendo has had throughout the years, for decades, since the Game Boy, the original Game Boy, the one thing that Nintendo has always been able to do better than their competition has been handhelds. The handheld market, they have held a stronghold on for over 2 decades. I would say, wow, over 3 decades, actually. They have had a stronghold on that market. So we understand that Nintendo, they're not quote unquote competing with Sony and Microsoft. They're off doing their own thing. I understand that. That's Nintendo. Wish they wouldn't do that, but they do. So they figured out a way that, okay, we know that we're not that hot on the console side, but what if we can combine the two together, double our forces, and be able to appeal to the person on the go that likes the handheld and the person that's at home that wants the game on a console? Now, this could go a couple of ways. Shout out to Jeremy Parrish, by the way. I was talking to him about this, and he was saying, well, what does that mean for Nintendo's handheld market itself? Now, I said it could go one of 2 ways, and I could be wrong about it. I could. But I said, people who actually are on the 3DS, they like that. They're on the go. They'll pick this up, and Nintendo will just basically replace the handheld, the 3DS, with this Nintendo Switch. They're just going to go ahead and just take away all of the 3DSs. They're going to just pretty much just mold everything into one. It could go that way, or they could keep both. One will be a high-end model, and the other one will be a regular model. But I don't think Nintendo is going to be able to do both. I don't know. Because, well, depending on the price tag, of course, everything's going to come down to price. Nobody knows how much this is going to be. But if they do it that way, they would cannibalize their sales with the 3DS or whatever the successor to the 3DS is going to be in the future. If they're trying to market this to both sides of the spectrum, the console gamer and the handheld gamer. So they may have a bit of an uphill battle with that, but we'll see. But either way, I'm pretty excited about this. I'm really pumped up to see what Nintendo does, what they're gonna, bring to the table as far as like the first party. We saw like a really, really quick glimpse of Mario. Looked like Mario 64. Oh man, it looked great. You saw Bullet Bill flying out of the cannon, and Mario had his hands up like he's ready to fly away like an eagle. It was a heck of a time. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was great commercial, got me excited, but we'll just have to see, how this actually goes for Nintendo going forward. So we'll see though. But those 2 stories, they were the big highlights of the week. My hat goes off to Rockstar. My hat definitely goes off to Nintendo. And I'm looking forward to seeing what these 2 projects do in the very near future. But moving on from those 2 big stories, by the way, if you want to, leave a comment. Call up the podcast, leave an email. I would love to hear your thoughts on these 2 huge announcements that happened this week. But moving on into some more news. If you're a PlayStation 4 owner and love competing in tournaments or have been interested in game tournaments, then you're in luck. Sony has entered into a partnership with ESL and is integrating a structured competitive gaming structure into the dashboard, which will make it easy for game players to enter into tournaments. Now, the first game to kick this off will be NBA 2K17. Now, this feature can be found under events on the dashboard screen. Now, in order to compete in this, you will have to be a PS Plus member and, of course, own the game. Now, also Madden, Mortal Kombat X, Project Cars, and World Rally Championship 5 will also fall under the tournament section. According to manager director of ESL, Mr. Marcel Menge, he said that they plan on having hundreds of weekly tournaments. Wow. Hundreds of weekly tournaments. That's a heck of a lot. Also, the tournaments will support 15 different languages. So it's going to be more than English. It's going to be more than Japanese. Sure, it's going to be more than Portuguese. I mean, hey, 15 languages. Okay, God dog. It's going to have all of that. This is a really good feature, man. I've never really been into the competitive scene or the tournaments. Every time I've played, man, I get whipped. Okay, I'm an easy target, brother. I am. As much as I love gaming, I have never proclaimed to be the best at it. The only game I would stand a fighting chance in was Fight Night. I could give a person some work in Fight Night, but outside of that, nah, Street Fighter, I'm getting whipped. NBA 2K, yeah, I'm getting swept. Madden, yeah, I'm getting blown out. It just doesn't work for me. But this is really cool for you guys out there that want to compete, want to get into the tournament scene, want to try your hand at it, and them saying that they're going to have hundreds of weekly tournaments. I'm sure it will be no shortage of different tournaments to jump into. So this is a really good feature, man. This is great. Now, I don't know if they're going to be giving away prizes or they're going to be giving away money or free games or anything like that. I don't know yet. It was nothing detailed in there that said that they would be giving away those kind of things, but at least for right now, you guys on the PlayStation 4 side, you definitely have a tournament section and you can compete. Moving on into some more news, Burnout creators have made an announcement about their next project. Yes, Burnout creators, one of the best racing games I have ever played, but their project might not be what you think it's gonna be. But here we go. The name of it is Lethal VR. Now, it will be released for the PlayStation VR and Vive. Now, exactly what is it? Well, it's not Burnout. You probably figured that out. But it's being described as a fast action arcade style shooting experience inspired by classic arcade gun games from the past. I mean, I'm taking it like Mad Dog McCree, maybe Time Crisis, Virtual Cop, somewhere in there. But it says it's going to be enhanced with VR technology to guarantee a new level of immersion never seen in the genre before. Now, the game is being developed in Unreal Engine. That should be nice. And will be available November 8th for the HTC Vive. Now, as far as when the PlayStation VR version will be out, it currently has no release date, but according to Three Fields Entertainment, who is, of course, the development team behind it, they say the game will ship before the end of this year. So for you Vive owners, November 8th, be on the lookout for this game, Lethal VR. And for you PlayStation VR owners, it'll be out before the end of the year. So we'll see what happens. I saw some video of it. I don't know. I don't want to judge it. You know, I can say it's not my kind of cup of tea, but you guys go out there, YouTube Lethal VR, look it up online and check it out for yourself. It might be up your alley. But moving on into some more PlayStation news, PlayStation PSN, well, I'll call it, will be shutting down for maintenance on October 25th, starting at 1:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, you will still be able to sign in, play games, but won't be able to access the PlayStation Store, PlayStation Video, or account management. So just make sure that you guys on the East Coast, 1:30 a.m. on October 25th, PSN will be down for maintenance. But moving on from there, you know what? Let's swing back around. Okay, we talked about Red Dead just for a little bit. Let's swing back around to the good old Red Dead. Now, some more Red Dead news did come out. Now, I understand that at this moment, Red Dead 2 hasn't been announced for the PC, but there is a possibility that PC game players may get a chance to play Red Dead Redemption. Now, Sony announced that the PS3 version will be coming to PlayStation Now or PS Now soon. Right now, that's all that was said. So you guys, I know right now the PC version of Red Dead Redemption 2, it hasn't been, it's not even in the talks. It's just saying Xbox One and PlayStation 4. But the PC, I had read earlier as well that, it was a bit of a backlash of that, not like harsh backlash towards Rockstar, but people did start a petition to get it on PC. I'm going to tell you PC guys right now, y'all got nothing to worry about. I mean, nothing. Nothing at all. Basically what they're going to do, they're going to go ahead, they're going to release it on consoles. They're going to sell 1 billion copies on the console side. And a year later, maybe even 6 months later, I'm going to give it a year. They'll release it on the PC. They'll get the PC guys on the back end as well to keep the sales going, because GTA 5 has sold, as far as I know, very well on the PC. But just swinging back to the original thing, though, Red Dead Redemption never came out on the PC side. So for you guys on the PC that haven't had a chance to play it with the PlayStation Now service, you will soon. They didn't give a date. I want to just put emphasis on that. But they're saying that Red Dead Redemption will be coming to the PlayStation Now service very soon. So you guys on the PC will actually get a chance to play Red Dead Redemption and get your feet wet and see why the game is so great. But keeping with Sony and Red Dead 2, now even though the game is coming, of course, like I just said, to Xbox One, it looks like Sony has established a partnership with Rockstar, where select online content will arrive first on the PlayStation 4. So it seems like it's going to be another deal similar to Destiny or Call of Duty, somewhere where the PlayStation 4 will definitely get it first. They say they're going to get it first, probably 30 days, might be 6 months, it might be a year that this deal will pertain to, as far as when the content will be available for the Xbox One. I think that was a smart move, because the last time on GTA 4, Microsoft beat Sony to the punch. They had the Lost DLC, as well as the Ballad of Gay Tony. That was on there as well. So they had those, and I don't know, did those ever come to PS3? I'm sure they did, but they seem like they took forever. So it doesn't seem like it's quite that kind of deal. I mean, I don't know if Microsoft has anything in the works, but right now, online content will be coming to PlayStation 4 first for Red Dead Redemption 2. Very good pickup, Sony, because I really have a feeling that as good as GTA 5 is right now online, I think that's going to carry over well into Red Dead Redemption 2. So once again, great move. But moving on now, for you video game streamers out there that are wondering, will someone be bringing out a 4K streaming capture card soon? Well, when asked this question on Twitter by a person that goes by the name of Jack Frags, Elgato Gaming responded to this question with a shifty eyes emoji, possibly hinting at the fact that they could be working on it. So we know that 4K, of course, is the next frontier. in TV resolution, even though I've heard 8K is somewhere out there in the wild as well being worked on. But 4K is the next step. Now 1080p, that's been out there, and they actually have a capture card, an Elgato capture card that does 1080p, and it seems like it does it very well from the reviews that I've read about it and seen on YouTube, of course. But they could be working on this 4K. It seems only logical that they would be working on a 4K streaming device, because I don't know if this is true or not, but I hear more people talking about Elgato than any other capture card. So I'm taking it that they must be the leader in this space for streamers and YouTubers that do their thing on Twitch as well. I mean, they're just out there. So you guys that are looking forward to the 4K, that are jumping in early on the technology with the PlayStation 4 Pro or with the Scorpio next year, then maybe very soon Elgato will be releasing this 4K capture streaming. I messed that all up. A 4K streaming capture card. God dog. Moving on into some more news. Now, just in case you were not aware, Minecraft Episode 1 is now free on the PlayStation 3, the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Xbox 360 as well. God dog, wait a minute, as well as Windows 10, iOS, and Android. They covered everything. Now, if your hard drive space is limited, a physical copy will be releasing on October 25th. And wait a minute, that can't be right. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me read this again. Okay, I didn't mess up. That's it. Now, if you guys are aware, you can definitely try it out for free. That is Minecraft Episode 1, PS3, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox 360, Windows 10, iOS, and Android. So, hey, that's all for that. But moving on into the next story, of course. Oh, man, actually, there have been, I just saw this. Let me see. Okay. All right, listen to this, y'all. Darn. Almost skipped this. 3 new games have been added to backwards compatibility on Xbox One. Now, they are Galaga Legions. This is going to sell for $9.99. Joe Danger 2, the movie, which is going to sell for $14.99. And, oh, shucks, the Orange Box is actually backwards compatible now, and it's selling for $19.99. Are you serious? What did the Orange Box have, like 4 games in it? 4 or 5 games? What did it have? Half-Life 1, 2, Portal. I don't know if Portal was in. I don't think Portal was in there. I'm making that up. I don't know. I don't think Portal was in there. Might have been. Team Fortress, I think, was on there as well. Either way, man, look, listen, bro, look. Pick this up. This is awesome, man. This is the best game on the list. The Orange Box is officially backwards compatible. Get that. I know that the backwards compatibility list for Xbox One has not always been stellar, but in there they actually have a couple of gems, and the Orange Box is definitely one of those rare gems. Moving on. Now, this isn't 100% gaming related, but the NBA. Yes, the NBA will be broadcasting at least 1 game a week in VR. Now, announcing a partnership with NextVR, this will allow for the user to have access to multiple VR camera angles, dedicated announcers, and VR optimized graphics. And during game breaks, you will be able to see in-venue entertainment and behind-the-scenes arena footage. Now, that's pretty darn cool. Now, in order to be able to participate in this, you will need a full season NBA League Pass subscription purchased through a cable provider or purchased directly. You will be able to view the games through Samsung's Gear VR headset and the next VR app. The NBA did say that support for other VR headsets will come later this season. Now, this new immersive way to watch basketball will start on October 27th. A full schedule of VR games will be announced by the end of this month. How darn cool is that? Now, a lot of people were saying, and I agree with them, that VR is not going to be all video game focused. It's not. It's going to venture off into entertainment. And I really like this because I forgot which podcast it was. I don't know if it was the Co-op podcast with Gary A. Swavey and Richard Bailey. I don't know if it was them. Shout out to those brothers. I don't know if it was the Throwdown. I don't know if it was Gamer Tag. It might have been Game Enthused. I don't know. These are all podcasts that I listen to. But somebody said on one of those that it would be a cool idea to have the VR headset and you actually are looking at an actual concert actually in front of your face, like you're actually there. You can see the crowd, you can see the performer, it's like you're really there. This right here, what the NBA is doing, it's so similar to that idea. Being able to see the actual the halftime show up close, seeing behind the scenes stuff, actually seeing things that are really happening in the arena as you're there, as you're looking around, looking at things, being able to see the entertainment, all of that stuff, giving you the sense and the scope that you are literally in the front row of a game. This could be really big. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this is actually received by the public. And the thing I like the most is even though it is starting off on Samsung's Gear VR, they are saying that they're going to have support for other VR headsets before the end of this season. They said actually later this season. So it's coming. So that could mean that could be the PlayStation VR. That could be included in that, as well as the Vive and the Oculus Rift. So we'll see how big this gets, but I'm really rooting for this to actually take off, because if this takes off, then the NFL is going to take off, FIFA is going to take off, NHL is going to take off. It's going to be one of those new things, or a new way, I should say, on how to view entertainment. So I really, really can't wait to see the responses of people who actually get a chance to check this out. But moving on to the next story, keeping on the VR ship, Ubisoft's game Star Trek Bridge Crew has unfortunately been delayed. They said, and I quote, "In order to deliver the best game experience possible at launch, we have decided to push the release of Star Trek Bridge Crew to March 14th, 2017. The game is supposed to be compatible with the HTC Vive, Oculus Rift, and PlayStation VR when it releases. Ubisoft also said this is a VR-only experience. So, for any of you guys that were looking forward to this, you're just going to have to wait a little bit longer. March 14th, 2017. They're trying to add that extra polish onto it, probably trying to get a couple more bugs out, make it more seamless, more smooth. So at least it's not that far out. You're looking at about, roughly 5 months, somewhere around in there. So it's okay, man. It's all right. It'll be coming. But once again, interestingly, it is a VR, once again, only experience. So it's not a reason of getting this if you don't have any of the headsets. But if you do, I'm sure you're going to be in for a very good time. Matter of fact, Paris Lilly from Gamertag Radio, he actually had played this, and he said he had a really good time with it. He had a a funny, crazy grin on his face as he was playing it, and he enjoyed it. So I'm taking it, and he was a skeptic of VR. He said he wasn't 100% on board with it, but he said this he had a good time with. So, hey, hopefully March 14th is going to be well worth the wait, and you guys that have been anticipating this will have a great time. Moving on to the next story. Now, The Division will be getting an update this week. It's going to be update 1.4 that they're going to be giving, and servers will be offline for a 3-hour window beginning at 3:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and 12:30 Pacific Standard Time, PT. Yeah, there's no word on how big the patch will be on PC, but for the PlayStation 4, it's going to be this thing is going to be 11 gigs of, man, come on, y'all, come on, Ubisoft. Man, the average person has a 500 gigabyte hard drive. Have you guys noticed that these patches are freaking ridiculous? They are so darn high. 11 gigs. I think Transformers Devastation was like 12 or 13 gigs, and that is a full game. It's short, but it's a full game with voice acting and everything. And 11, man, this thing better fix the whole darn game. I don't know what's going on with The Division. I heard it was broken. I don't know if it was the loot system or what, but you guys, you better be getting a brand new experience. I mean, shoot, it should be some graphical touches in this doggone 11 gigabyte patch. This is ridiculous. They need to stop it. They need to do better. Because people have limited hard drive space. Y'all need to do better than this, man. This is ridiculous. On the Xbox One side, I mean, it's not as bad as 11 gigs, but god dog, they're still gonna be taking 5.7 gigabytes of your hard drive. So you guys that are into The Division, version 1.4, it's going to be coming out this week. I don't know which day, but be on the lookout for it because the servers are going to be offline for 3 hours, and you daggone unfortunately got to download this big darn patch, 11 gigs and 5.7 because some things were wrong with the game. This is bogus. Moving on to the next story. God darn. For you PC guys on the lookout for Watch Dogs 2. That's right, Watch Dogs 2. I'm kind of looking forward to that. It looks kind of cool. But it has been a slight delay. Now, it was supposed to have come out originally with the console version on November 15th, but because the developers wanted to optimize the controls and presentation so it will run smoothly across a broad range of hardware, the game has actually been delayed until the 29th of November. So not that bad. About what? 2 weeks? 14 days? So you guys, at least, hey, I guess they're taking a page out of Mafia 3's book, like, wait a minute, man, hold on. You know, before we release it to the dogs, to the hounds over there on the PC, let's get this stuff right, because we don't need the backlash right now. We just want to have a smooth launch. Let's take it back 2 weeks, and we'll bring it out, optimize it for all of the different kind of configurations, and everybody can be happy running the game at 90 frames a second or 110, whatever your rig can do. So, PC guys, just wait it out 2 more weeks. You guys will have the game, and it's supposed to be, once again, optimized, you know, for the controls and presentation, so it will run smoothly across a broad range of hardware. Moving on to the next story now. Oh man, this came out of the darn blue sky. I didn't even see this coming. Now, it was just revealed by Mark Cerny that the PlayStation 4 Pro will have 1 extra gigabyte of RAM in the console. Let that just simmer a little bit. It's gonna have 1 gig extra of RAM in the console. Now, you may be wondering what benefits this will have on the games. Well, this will boost the memory up 10%, and the games will be able to use an additional 512 megabytes, and the rest will be used for the system's interface. But the benefits will be that it will be used for various buffers when rendering high resolution or higher quality graphics. Now, the game assets stay the same, they just look a lot better on the new console. So 1 gig extra. What an amazing thing to say less than a month out. I think I forget when the Pro is coming out. It's mid-November, I believe. But man, this looks like it's going to be a good benefit. I know it's only 512 and the rest of it is going to be used for the system's interface, but like they said, it's going to be used for various buffers when rendering high resolution or higher quality graphics. So maybe this is how they're going to be able to make Skyrim, actually, of course, the remastered version, 4K. I didn't hear about a checkerboard effect. I didn't hear about them kind of cheating to get it to 4K. I heard 4K, as well as NBA 2K17. I've heard that that's going to be true 4K. So my hat goes off to Sony. I'm sure this is going to help with the games and the assets and all of the rendering. I mean, this is great news. Very, very great news, especially for you guys that are picking up the Pro when it comes out next month, which everybody is saying is going to kill the Xbox One. It's going to be incredible sales. I know I talked a lot last week. I might have to eat some crow on that, but hey, I'm prepared to eat it if it comes to it. If they kill Microsoft and they turn out to be number one for November, I'll have to eat that humble pie. But until then, I'm going to stand by what I said in the last episode. Moving on, but I want to point this out real quick. I have a lot of love for Sony, a lot of respect for Sony. If I didn't like Sony, I wouldn't have all 4 of their PlayStations. I just want to point that out. Mad love for those cats, man. But moving on now, video game, wow, god darn, I ain't see this coming either. Now, video game voice actors have gone on strike. Oh, man. For, let's see what it says. They're going on strike over pay and the refusal of employees telling them what games they will be working on ahead of time. Well, let me finish reading. It says this strike is going to affect 11 gaming companies, including Activision and Take-Two. Now, these actors have been in negotiations for almost 2 years through their union, which is called the Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Arts. That's a long name. Now, some of the things that the voice actors have been demanding are, I'll read it, shoot. Are bonuses based on game sales on top of their pay, as well as having stunt coordinators there while they perform, and to get their name mentioned in the credits if they are doing motion capture, because there are times when they get no recognition for that. Now, I'm a firm believer that if you're doing work on a project, I don't care how small it is, I don't care how big it is, the people that are fully involved, you're getting dialogue from these people, you're getting mocap from these people, you're getting emotion in the face from these people. They need to get their credit. At the end of a game, when there's billions of names rolling, they need to be in there, but, these voice actors now, they are very important. They're very essential to gaming. They are. And I take nothing away from them. Voice acting is hard. I know it is, because you're having to pull emotion from a blank canvas. The times that I've seen voice actors actually voicing their lines and getting things together, they have to use a lot of imagination. They have to pull from somewhere to get the emotion that the character is feeling at that time. So I know it's hard work. I know it's a lot of yelling. It's a lot of screaming. It's a lot of lines being read, but, and not to sound like like a butt. Okay. That's the job. That's the job. I understand that they want pay. And this is the other thing with the pay. Listen, you hire someone to do the job. When they do the job, you pay them for the job that they did. The thing that I disagree with this strike, or I'm sure it's going to happen because they said if they didn't come to an agreement by Monday, they were going to be striking in front of EA. So we'll have to see if that actually has happened or not. I guess we'll know very soon. But the thing is that this pay. Now they're saying they want pay for the game when it does well, on top of already getting paid. So you want to double dip. My thing is, you got to understand, there are people that work tirelessly, hours on top of hours on top of hours, sacrificing not seeing their family for weeks, sacrificing not being able to go on vacation, sacrificing at times, I'm sure, their sanity to try and get a game out the door. These guys are doing tireless work. I remember hearing Amy Hennig. She was talking about development and saying just the things that I said, they're working like 60 hours, 80 hours a week, sleeping at the office. Now, I don't know if Amy Hennig said that, but I'm just saying from listening to past, things about guys that have been in the industry, reading about it and seeing it, they say they spend countless hours away from their family, just sleeping at work because they got to get it done. They have all of these obligations. They got to get it out by a certain time, and they're under the gun. These guys, the voice actors, they come in, and I'm not undermining their work. I know it's work, but they come in, they work, they do their lines, they do their mocap, and they're out of there in a couple of weeks, maybe a couple months. But they're not working 80 hours a week. They're not, I don't know. I could be wrong about that. But my point is that the people that are doing the guts of the work, that are doing the real leg work, the very hard labor, once again, not knocking any of the voice actors or the mocap actors, but I'm saying they're not in the trenches like that. These guys are out there tirelessly, hours upon hours, and they don't get pay on top of their pay. Sometimes these guys who have put all of their heart and soul, blood, sweat, and tears into a project, they get told, you're getting the axe. We're shutting down the team. The development team is shut down. We're closing our doors. Good luck. That's what happens a lot of times. As an actor, a voice actor, you can move somewhere else and find work again. But these guys, they're not guaranteed that their studio is going to stay afloat after a project. So to ask for extra money on top of your pay already, I disagree. If anybody should get that, it should be the development team, in my opinion, because they're doing the hard freaking work. Outside of that, though, I do agree that they should have a stunt coordinator because, matter of fact, if you guys want to know more about this, go over to Gamertag Radio. It's their latest episode. Danny had actually interviewed an actual voice actor who he made some good points, and I could understand what he meant, but I just couldn't support everything that he was saying. So if you want to get more information about this from an actual voice actor in the industry, check that out. I think you guys would enjoy it. But outside of that, as far as them knowing projects ahead of time, I can understand that, the publishers and the developers don't want to do that, because how many times has information leaked about a certain game that they're working on, and people aren't supposed to know about it, and they just gradually just say, oh yeah, by the way, I'm doing such and such a thing. Bam, the whole thing is blown up in smoke. So I can understand both sides of it, but the sad thing about this is that if these actors, these voice actors, and trust me, I love great voice acting. I love it. I don't want to go back to the Resident Evil 1 days on the PlayStation where the voices were so mechanical, Oh no, Jill, move, run. Let's not do that. But the thing is that if these guys don't come to an agreement and they don't, want to play ball, unfortunately, and I hate to sound like the bad guy, I do, but unfortunately, they will replace you. You will be replaced. It's unfortunate. I'm sure it could have an impact on how well the voice acting is on certain projects, even the mocap, but it's true. If you don't want to play ball, it's so many other people that are vying for a spot just to get their foot in that they'll do it for half the money or less than what they should be getting just to get in the door, just to get a foot in and try to make waves once they get in. So I hope that this situation, turns out well. I hope that everybody can come to an agreement and nobody has to be laid off of work. That's the last thing I want for anybody out there. So, we'll just have to see how this situation goes. But once again, if you're interested in more information about this, go over to Gamertag Radio, find that latest episode, and listen to it there. But moving on from that story, now there is a lime green. That's right, a lime green Nintendo 3DS XL that has arrived exclusively on Amazon. Now the 3DS XL comes with Super Mario World. Oh, snap! Super Mario World pre-installed on the handheld system, and it's going for the console. Not the console. The handheld is selling for $200. So anybody looking for a 3DS XL with Super Mario World on it, go over to Amazon. It's exclusive, the lime green color. It looks like Yoshi. It's actually Yoshi's color, the lime green. So it looks like that. And man, just to have Super Mario World on there, God dog. I actually have that Super Mario World with the Super Nintendo. My girl, she got it for me. The Super Nintendo in the box with Super Mario World. So this is awesome, man. Great deal. So any of you guys out there that want this, go over to Amazon.com and pick it up for $200. Moving on into some other news with Best Buy. Best Buy is having an online sale from now until Saturday, October 29th, where you will be able to buy a Samsung 55-inch 4K TV with a Xbox One S for $850. Now the Xbox bundles, because it's all bundles that you'll have to get. God darn, that's a good deal. $850. It's a Samsung for a 55-inch 4K TV. Now, I don't know if it has HDR on this TV. I don't know about all that, brother. But what I do know, you're getting a 4K TV that's 55 inches for daggone $850 with the Xbox One S. But the bundles that they're giving with this is, let's read them off. The Xbox bundles include Halo 5 Guardians. The next one is Master Chief Collection. Another one is the Battlefield 1 bundle. One is a Minecraft bundle as well. Man, that is amazing. Now, just to confirm with you guys. Don't walk into the store expecting for this deal to be in there. It is an online only purchase. So you have from now until the 29th of October to jump in if you want to. I tell you, man, Microsoft is starving. They really want to win. Now, I don't know if this is Microsoft or if it's Best Buy. I don't know. Best Buy has had some crazy deals with Xbox over the last 2 years or so. So, man, can you imagine what Black Friday is going to be like, though? Can you imagine? I want Sony to, man, look, listen, I got to confess something, okay? All right. I got to get this off my mind. I know I said I wasn't going to do it. I know I said I think it's a waste. I don't think it's something I need to really invest in. But the closer the PlayStation 4 Pro comes to releasing, man, I'm getting jittery. I'm getting the jitters a little bit, brother. I'm trying to hold back from getting this doggone thing, but the more I hear about it, the 1 gig extra of RAM, the 4K games with doggone 2K17 and Elder Scroll, and I ain't even Elder Scroll, Skyrim. Man, it's got me jittering a little bit, brother. So if they come up with a heck of a Black Friday deal where you can get the PlayStation 4 Pro with like 2 games or something like that, it ain't going to take much. Man, I might have to dive in, splash. I just might have to do it, brother, but I'm trying to hold on. But getting back to the daggone deal at Best Buy. Yeah, go over there, $850, 55-inch 4K, and I don't need to say no more. But not to be outdone, though, by Best Buy. Amazon, god darn, is having an Xbox One sale also, where you can buy, this is pretty darn good, brother. You can buy a 1 terabyte Tomb Raider bundle for $292.89. Now this might be gone because they were almost depleted out of stock of this one. So if you did want the Tomb Raider bundle, it might not be there. But if you do, it's $292.89. It comes with Tomb Raider, the reboot, as well as Rise of the Tomb Raider. Outside of that one, you can also get the 1 terabyte Call of Duty Advanced Warfare bundle. That's going to be $364.99. Or you can get the 1 terabyte Xbox One console that's going to sell for $314.99. Or you can pick up the 1 terabyte Division bundle for $278.79. God darn, and 79 cents. Man, just to put this in perspective, God dog, I paid $150 for, it is a 4, I can't, never mind, I can't compare the two, never mind. But, darn, that's a good price, $278.79 for the Division. And looks like the last bundle is going to be a 1 terabyte limited edition Halo 5 bundle. That's going to be selling for $330 even. So all of these are 1 terabytes. Like I say, I'm spoiled, man. I'm so doggone spoiled. Ever since I got that 4 terabyte hard drive, I have just been downloading stuff for points. Just, let's see if it'll fit. Let's put that on there. Let's do this. I've been trying to find stuff just to download digitally, just to have it. It's such a great piece of hardware. I just can't recommend it enough. That if you want that extra hard drive space, it's so simple. You just click it right into the USB on the side of the Xbox One. Now, keep in mind, I got the black one, the original one, but just find the USB port, even on the S, and just plug it in. It's plug and play, and it'll format the hard drive. You'll have 3.7 terabytes to play with. I'm not even down to 3 yet. I'm not even down to 3. I think I'm holding on at like 0.2 or 0.3, somewhere around in there. But I got 15 games on there so far, and I got probably another 7 or 8 I need to put on there. I just haven't, because I probably won't go back to them. But get that. Please get that Seagate, man. It's awesome. But moving on now, if you picked up, we had mentioned Tomb Raider a little earlier, just a few seconds ago, minutes or whatever. But getting back on the Tomb Raider thing, if you picked up Rise of the Tomb Raider on PlayStation 4 and found that the game was suffering from input lag issues, then you will be happy to know that this problem has been solved. The input issue, the input lag, has been solved due to a patch that is 1.04. It's patch 1.04. But not only does it fix that issue, the issue of, the game not responding well, because you're pushing Laura in one direction, but she's not going immediately. So not only does it clean up the lag, man, I'm rambling. It doesn't only clean up the lag, it also will improve the image quality to a 4K image and improve the frame rate for the PlayStation 4 Pro version. So when the PlayStation 4 Pro does come out, in this update, it's going to be able to improve, once again, the frame rate, as well as giving it that image quality of a 4K image. Rise of the Tomb Raider was so great. Oh my goodness. One of my favorite games last year. One of my favorite games of this generation so far. Awesome game. Thoroughly enjoyed it. You PlayStation 4 owners out there, please support this game. Please go out there and get the Rise of the Tomb Raider. I believe it's the 20th anniversary of it. It's such an amazing game. And just the fact that they have improved on the lag issues that the PlayStation 4 version did have in the beginning, it shows that they really want to make this game the best game it could possibly be on the platform. So please go out there, game players, and support Tomb Raider 20th edition on the PlayStation 4 side. And if you guys on the Xbox One side haven't picked it up, please pick it up. It's a great game. But the last story, finally, this was a bit of a lengthy news section. If you were expecting to hear more about the Nintendo Switch, I should have said this in the beginning. It's kind of slipped my mind. If you're expecting to hear more about this console this year, then get ready to be disappointed, because a Nintendo spokesperson told the Wall Street Journal that Nintendo will announce more details about the console next year before it releases in March. You gotta be freaking kidding me. Next year? Nintendo. For real, brother? This is what we're doing? This is what's happening at Nintendo HQ right now. I'm excited about this, man. I want to see Nintendo come back and do well by game players. I really want them to shine, man. But you're gonna wait until next year. You don't even have a 3-month window. You got a 2-month window. Maybe 2 months and 3 weeks at the max. If it's gonna release in March. At the max. 2 months, 3 weeks. And you mean to tell me you're gonna pick next year to get more details out there about your console? People need to save up for this stuff. People need to hear more details about this console. Nintendo, come on. Golly. Now see, this is another interesting thing. Now, granted, I forgot to mention this. Xbox One, well, the Xbox division in general, they've been doing very, very well with their sales. They've been number one for the last 3 months. However, because they've been number one, it does not necessarily mean they were very profitable, because their percentage was down by 5% as far as profitability went from this time last year. So theirs went down 5%. But when Nintendo, even more interestingly, getting back to Nintendo dropped 6%, which I think they said was equivalent to $2 billion, somewhere around there. And guess why it dropped? Some of you guys probably already know, but it dropped because investors were not feeling this idea about the Nintendo Switch. Somebody, I didn't get the gentleman's name. I was reading the article and they said they don't know how this is going to be practical. You have the tablet market. You have the phone market. Where does this fit in? And I mean, God dog, I'm just thinking about it right now. Like, man, I had an epiphany. That's a darn good question. Where does it fit? Where does it fit in, Nintendo? I want to see it succeed. I want to buy it. But I got to tell y'all, it's going to come down to price. If they want $400 for this thing, I'm out. I can't do it. I ain't going to be able to do it. But if they come in at $250, I would definitely do it. I would jump on it fast and in a hurry. And I think that's a fair price. Now, I understand some of you guys are saying, you out your darn mind, Keon. $250 for a dual kind of console? You got a console at home and you got a handheld? You want to pay $250? This is the thing, man. This is the thing. I understand that this is going to be new next year when it comes out. It's going to be new. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're using new technology. It's not like they're going the route of the PlayStation 4 Pro, where they're trying to make things 4K resolution, or, just to put it out there, or the Scorpio, the Project Scorpio that's toting, quote unquote, air quotes here, true 4K. So they're not really putting power into the console like that. They said that this will be comparable to a PlayStation 4 or Xbox One. It's going to be in that realm. I can almost guarantee you by next year, holidays of next year, the PlayStation 4 will be $250. The Xbox One S will be following suit somewhere around $250. It is no way that Nintendo, I don't give a darn, Nintendo can't come in at over $300. I don't think they can do it. I understand they're going to try to appeal to both markets, but Nintendo, the thing they have to do, I don't care what else they do. The main thing Nintendo has to do is they have to get back into the good graces of third-party support, because Nintendo has that reputation right now as it stands with the Wii U that they don't get third-party support. They don't get GTAs. They don't get Red Dead Redemptions. You notice there wasn't nothing about Nintendo with Red Dead Redemption 2. They don't get the big AAA games. They just don't get the support. The last Call of Duty they had, golly, on the Wii U, I can't even remember what the name of it was. I don't even remember. But they just don't get it. They might have Ubisoft to give some stuff here and there, but they don't have EA. Well, they gave them Mass Effect 2 or 3, but y'all know what I'm saying. They don't have the same support as Sony and Microsoft when it comes to third party. They don't have a network right now that's comparable to Sony or Microsoft. They don't have an achievement system as of right now. That could change. They very well could have an achievement system or trophy system in play when they come out with more details next year. I don't even know. But they have so many other things working against them that they have to come in at cheaper than the competition or on par with competition price-wise. But investors weren't happy. We'll see what happens. But Nintendo, God darn. That is it, man. Shucks for the gaming news this week. Oh, man, this was lengthy. But don't worry, stay tuned, folks, because we're going to get into my favorite section of the podcast, and that is the feedback section, and we'll jump into that right after this. Stay tuned, y'all. Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back to the podcast. Man, I'm gonna have to start making some more beats, man. I think I've depleted all of the beats that I've constructed, that I've made. Don't get me wrong, brother. They all sampled. I sampled stuff, man. But yeah, man, that's the thing I love to do. Beats are my thing, brother. But I'll get some more on the podcast eventually. But let's get on into the feedback section, man. Now, of course, you know who it is that knocked on the door this week. Y'all already know him. He is a very well known individual or the Analog Circle podcast. No other than Mr. Cody Clark. He has written in once again, and let's get into his email. He says, the name of his email, by the way, gotta get that out the way. The name of his email is Brotherhood If Traveling Split Screens. He says, hey, Keon, question for you, since you are on the go a lot. Yeah, I'm going a lot, brother. He says, do you do a lot of east-west driving, or are you more often doing just north-south stuff? Is that based on the company you work for? I have never been one for much travel or driving myself, so this is obviously something I have no clue about, so I figured I could ask. Absolutely, man. Yeah, I don't do a lot of east-west driving, like East Coast to West Coast. I used to do it when I first started. When I was in training, I was going everywhere, man. I could start in PA and end up in Oregon somewhere, at one time. But now, since I've actually gone with a local company who's here in, not even Baltimore, they're out in Aberdeen, Maryland. Since I've worked with them, I've only done north and south. So I'll go as high up as Vermont. That's about the peak of how high I will go. And that's not too much further you can go. but going up to Buffalo and all of that stuff. I've never went over into Canada. The closest I've come to going into Canada was about 17 miles. I was about 17 miles out, but I go as high up as there and as low as South Carolina. I've been to South Carolina a couple of times, and it's actually nice down there. I was the closest I got to Georgia, I was about 32 miles away from Georgia. So I was way down in South Carolina. So that's about as far as I go, which is a nice amount. They usually keep me up in Buffalo, New York, or up in Connecticut, Pennsylvania. I go to Virginia every now and again, but I don't go too deep into Virginia a lot of the time. If I'm going deep into Virginia, I'm going down to North Carolina. But yeah, that's about it as far as that. But he continues on. Hope I wasn't too long-winded with that. But he continues on. He says, I guess driving, you are limited to audio entertainment. That's very true. He says, but do you do like tablets or books or handhelds for when you stop driving? Like if you do overnight trips and stuff. Yeah, I do. That's definitely what I do. I'm overnight for the most part. He says, Like, do you pull out your phone and do Blizzard's Hearthstone or other free-to-play, play for free games, or things like the Vita, 3DS, and full-fledged games? Actually, man, Cody, good questions, man. I appreciate this. For the most part, see, now, this is the thing. If I was on the road, like for weeks at a time, I would have my consoles with me. I definitely would. I would have the laptop with me that would have a Wi-Fi router on it so I could get the connection to the consoles. But since I'm not out for more than 2 days at a time, I leave all of my stuff home. And for the most part, when I'm out on the road, I'm just looking at YouTube. Like when I sit and, I'm delivering some freight, not moving, or I'm shut down for the night, I'm just looking at YouTube, looking up stuff on the internet for the podcast or talking to friends, just doing all kinds of other stuff. But I have never really gamed when I've been out on the road. It's not something that I've really done. I guess it's because I'm not really into handhelds too much. Handhelds have never been my thing, man. I have tried them and I don't know what it is, Cody. I don't know. I can't get into them. So basically when I stop, I'll just watch YouTube or listen to music or just look up stuff online, man, until I get sleepy, and then I just go into my bunk and go to bed, after I eat or whatever. But that's about it, man, for that, though, Cody. I'm not really into the handhelds. But he continues on to say, I'm leaving for a trip to Amsterdam, Belgium. Oh, sweet. For just over a week. And it's like a 10-hour flight there and a 12.5-hour flight back. Shoot. And I really don't feel like paying extra for Wi-Fi yet. So I doubt I'll be getting my Hearthstone on. I just downloaded it because I like being late to the party. That's what's up. That's a long flight, man. I'm going to tell you something, Cody. The longest I've ever driven was about 10 hours, maybe about 10 hours, because I had to go down to South Carolina, and that was a long track, man. It was forever. So I had drove about 10 hours, but I was dead tired by the time I got there. He continues on to say, the thing about your oh man, cool. He says the thing about your podcast and Game Enthuse is the positive energy and their camaraderie. I appreciate that, man. They definitely have great camaraderie over there, Game Enthuse. I love their crew. He says, I kind of limit my gaming podcast and focus most of my other stuff on atheism, activation, and science learning. But I have to admit, the later two are kind of hard to listen to more than 2 or 3 hours before they just need a break or a boop joke. I had to bleep that out, Cody. Oh man. I feel you, man. First off, I want to say thank you for that compliment. Thank you very much. I just try to report stuff and just do the best I can. But once again, I appreciate you always listening and tuning in. And I do the same thing. As much as I love listening to various podcasts that I've mentioned on this podcast, as much as I love listening to those guys, eventually I will start getting tired because you're talking, and even if it's interesting, I could be really into it. I don't need a break. I'll have to sit back. I got about a 2 to 3 hour limit. After that, I got to step away. I got to listen to some music or just something more upbeat to kind of get me back in the groove. But I fully can relate to you on that. But he continues on to say, on your question about split screen, which was the question last week I was asking you guys, is it necessary in 2016? Cody says, I love split screen. Goose will drag me over all the time for games that have it. Some of the most fun I have had have been on Bud's system. Army of Two, and I guess Diablo 3 isn't really split screen, but it's close. I'm pretty sure Borderlands 2 had it, and I know I've spent dozens of hours in a cheap office chair chugging beers and throwing down, where I would not have even considered them if not the split screen or some form of couch co-op. It's the one thing I get super upset about with stuff like 90. Man, let me start over. Cody, I'm butchering your email right here. He says, it's the one thing I get super upset about with stuff like 90% of my friends have Overwatch on PC. The other 10% are split between PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. And it's just like, I can't play with anybody. So I sort of wish more games had some sort of co-op on one box still. People don't roll over and play games and hang anymore. They get a beer at a bar, then go home and log on to Skype or Ventrilo. I never even heard of that, brother. Then see their friends in game 80 miles away. Kinda boring. And he put a sad face with big eyes. Man, I hear you on that, Cody. Look, this is the thing. I remember back in the 90s, and by the way, thank you, Cody, for your email. I appreciate the questions, man. You definitely switched it up on me this week. I appreciate that, brother. But as far as the split screen, I remember I used to have a lot of fun with my brothers, man. Mark and Renard and Les. You know, we would all get together. We would play GoldenEye, have a really good time. But it was just the size of that doggone screen. When you got 4 players and you're on a 27-inch TV. I mean, of course, this is back in the 90s. You know, people couldn't afford big TVs like they are now, you know, for the prices they're selling them for. So, you know, we were teenagers. I'd be like, man, I'm squinting to see what I'm doing. And it was not fun. I think Perfect Dark had it. A couple of games had it. Power Stone, though. Power Stone was a lot of fun. It wasn't split screen, but it was multiplayer. It was multiplayer couch play, I'll say. But that was a lot of fun. But the cool thing about Power Stone was you were all on the same screen. Shout out to the Dreamcast, by the way. But yeah, I don't have a lot of fond memories of playing split screen with my buddies, because they felt the same way I felt. They were like, man, this is small TV, brother. I don't want to share my space, you know, with your space. So if I had some better memories of it, Cody, I'm sure, brother, I would have a huge respect, at least more of a respect for the split screen than I do now. But I just enjoy being able to get online and just have my own screen. All of us are together. We're playing multiplayer, having a good time. Keep in mind, I haven't played multiplayer in I don't know how long because I get killed all the time. But when I would, or when I do play, you know, with a couple of my buddies, we have a really good time, man. So I guess it's the same thing, but I got that full screen, so I've got a little spoiled, you know, but I'm glad and fully understand, though, Cody, that, you know, that's the thing that you hold near and dear. You know, your friends, you have fond memories. Y'all had a great time together being on the couch. You can joke with each other, you know, just trash talk each other, you know, right then and there. So I get it, man. I totally get it. And I understand, brother. I think I'm being very long-winded right now. So I'm going to wrap that up. But Cody, thank you so much. And once again, brother, on your travels, I wish you safe travels. I hope you get to Belgium very, very safe. Say what's up to Dr. Evil for me. You know, that wants $1 billion for $1 billion. Say what's up to him for me. And definitely safe travels to and back home, brother. Thank you so much for the email, Cody. But with that, guys, it's just one last section of the show, and this has been long. If you were still here, I want to thank you for tuning in and staying with me to the end. But the question that I have for you guys this week is, you know, Nintendo. They are the talking point this week. They are the guys. They stole the spotlight completely away from Rockstar, in my opinion. In my opinion, they were the talk of the news this week. So, keeping with Nintendo, I wanted to know from you guys, is the Nintendo Switch enough for hardcore gamers? Is this enough? Will this be enough to have people come back to Nintendo, to give Nintendo a second chance? You out there, the listener, listening to this right now, is the Nintendo Switch the thing that you need to put your confidence back into Nintendo? That they're going to do the right thing, they're going to support it, they're going to just turn the whole ship around. Is this the time that you jump back into Nintendo's ecosystem? With that being said, guys, man, this is gonna wrap it up. If you want to, you can definitely reach out to the podcast and definitely tell me what your answer would be by emailing the show at theanalogcirclepodcast@gmail.com or calling into the show to voice your opinion at 443-261-4607. Listeners out there, I truly appreciate you guys for tuning in every week. You know, you guys listening out there. I look at the numbers and see how many people are downloading the podcast. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you guys so much. Week in and week out that you tune in and listen to me ramble on and not stay on task all the time, because I will go to something totally different in a heartbeat. I know I do. I apologize. But once again, I just thank you guys for enduring the ride with me and, you know, taking the ride with me as well. So with that being said, guys, that is it for this week's podcast. But don't worry, we will be back again next week. But until then, you guys take care. Be safe out there. Bye-bye.